Hi Mark, it's
Hi.
Filippo from The Upcoming.
Hello there.
Can you tell us about your character?
Yeah, I play a guy called Max Vernon. He was the negotiator. When the hostages went in, they obviously needed somebody to talk to, and he was a police officer that carried out all of the discussions and was basically on the phone to them throughout the whole thing.
What drew you to this role?
Um, I think the event was such an important moment in British history. I mean, 1980 it happened, and it was kind of the moment when Britain stopped being ducks on a village pond, warm ale, a kind of slightly lazy, easygoing country, and became quite militarized. Afterwards, we were we were in the Falklands in 1982. 2 years later, Margaret Thatcher started appearing in tanks. The Defence Secretary appeared in flak jackets. It's as if Britain changed after this particular incident, became a much more militarized and slightly different version of the country it had been before. And I quite like the fact that that was the moment that happened, or one of the moments.
And do you prefer this like roles as a negotiator, or you prefer being like the action man?
Oh, I like it all. You know, as an actor, you get to do a little bit of everything. So this was quite a nice, peaceful, calm part compared to the ones I normally do.
So you have another hostage situation film coming up soon, I think.
A hostage situation?
Yeah.
Do I? Which one?
Is in Stockholm, I think. It's about.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. Although, that's true, sorry, I'm not a hostage in that one, and nor am I a negotiator. I'm one of two characters, who in 1973 there was a bank robbery in Stockholm, and it gave rise to the phrase Stockholm Syndrome, because the captives fell in love with their captors. And I shot that with Ethan Hawke and Noomi Rapace, and it should be coming out fairly soon, yeah.
Last question. You have a fantastic career. What gives you still motivation to make new movies?
I just love it. I love doing it. I love kind of finding new characters, being involved with new projects that make you have to think differently. Whether it's theatre, television, film, whatever it is, it's never less than interesting. So I feel very lucky.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and congratulations for the film.
Pleasure. Nice to meet you. I think it's quite an unusual part in that most of it is played on the phone with somebody on the other end of the line. And it was a character that had to remain calm, having never dealt with anything like it before. I met the real Max Vernon, the chap that I play, and talked to him about it. And he was very keen to make me understand that he always felt that he'd failed. That the fact that the army went in was a sign that what he was trying to achieve hadn't worked, and that he wanted to kind of make it happen through negotiation and make sure that everybody was safe. We see that incident these days as a moment of British jingoism. We see it as, our boys going in and rescuing, which of course they did, and I'm not going to say that that's wrong. But there is another side to the story, which is that there were a group of people who felt that they hadn't achieved what they wanted to. So I found that very interesting to play. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of real life stories, so I was intrigued to play somebody who was real and to have a series of events that I knew were real. And having the original footage made it all the more interesting. So you do have a responsibility to try and get the story right. I did play a character who was a gangster in the 1960s, and I made sure that all the music in my trailer was music of the period, so that while you're getting ready to go to work, you're surrounded by that feeling. But sometimes I'll do the opposite. I was doing a very serious play in New York called A View from the Bridge, and I spent a lot of time walking to the theatre, and in my headphones were comedy podcasts. So I needed something completely opposite, so it varies. Well, it's great. This is my home city, so to be involved in something that's here is a bonus, really, and obviously I didn't have to come that far from home. As I've explained, Tor Fraser, the director, was very keen to try and point out to me that the film he wanted to make is quite different from the film that probably people think he should have made. I think traditionally you would have made a film that was in the room with the hostages. You might have filmed the hostage takers, filmed the hostages being scared, that kind of vibe, to get the tension and the energy of that kind of a film. That's not what he was interested in. He was much more interested in what was going on around the main event. So it focuses on the negotiator, the head of the SAS, and on the reporter, Kate Adie, who made her name with live broadcasts at the time. And I just thought that was a really interesting way to go. I mean, I've seen a lot of films that focus on, hostages in fear of their lives. And while that might make for great drama, it's been done many, many times. And I think it's a kind of cheap way of engendering emotion. Much more interesting to me was the fact that he was being slightly intelligent and trying to kind of show you a story through the eyes of the people that were involved on the edges of it. That's why. Yeah, I love the contrast. I mean, that's what it's all about. I remember as a younger actor, I always wanted to play characters. I wanted to, wear a wig and do a funny voice and have a funny walk and wear a piece of costume that was different. And for me, that's kind of acting, is trying to do things as different as I've done before. And, I played Arabs, I played, I'm a Scot in Kingsman. I've done all kinds of different things, and that's the challenge for me. I've been in superhero movies, I've played aliens, a lot of spies at the moment for some reason, but I think that's because there's a lot of drama in the spying world.
Speaking of your career, what have you got coming up that you can tell us about?
Well, there's a film called Stockholm coming out. It's a little independent movie I made with Ethan Hawke and Lily Rapace about a bank robbery in Stockholm. There's a film called The Catcher Was a Spy that has an incredible cast. Paul Rudd, I think, is the lead, but Paul Giamatti, Tom Wilkinson, Connie Nielsen, Jeff Daniels, Guy Pearce. There's a ton of people in it who are really talented. And it's a story of a baseball player in the 30s who became a spy and was sent to Germany to assassinate Heisenberg, who was the head of Hitler's atomic project. And I get to play Heisenberg, and because I speak German, I got to use my German for the first time. The cast of 6 Days were great. I mean, Jamie, I know, we did a film together called The Eagle a while back with Channing Tatum, before he was Channing Tatum. And so, this industry, you always come back round and see people. And all the guys that I was working with, who were the guys with me in the office, were all really cool.